What would you do if the love of your life left you without a word, only to return years later with a shocking secret? Welcome to Dark Voices, where we unravel tales of heartbreak, betrayal, and redemption. Rebecca thought she'd moved on from Ethan, the man she once loved, but fate had other plans. Stay tuned, because this story will grip your heart and not let go. Rebecca was startled when Samantha informed her that Ethan was getting married that day. She paused in the middle of packing her belongings, looked at Samantha, and saw that Samantha was waiting for her response. "I already know," Rebecca replied with a bitter tone. "I'm happy for him. I really am." Samantha couldn't believe it. "Rebecca, you and Ethan have a child together. Why don't you tell him? His wedding is just an arrangement. We both know he still wants you." Rebecca shook her head. "He doesn't need to know about our daughter. He doesn't even know I got pregnant before I ended things. It's been 4 years. My life is peaceful now, and I don't want it to get messed up again." After organizing her files, Rebecca left the office quietly, logged out, and headed to the bus stop. She wasn't surprised that Ethan was finally getting married. She was more surprised that it had taken so long for his mother's plan to succeed, because years ago, that same woman successfully tore them apart for the very bride Ethan was about to marry. Rebecca felt she stood no chance back then. Ethan was in his final year of college, and if he chose her, he might not have experienced the life he had now. He might not have become a billionaire. She didn't want to hold him back. She had broken up with him on her own birthday and fled far away so that he wouldn't see her again. Can you imagine walking away from everything you love to protect someone's future, only to have it all come crashing back? Here at Dark Voices, we dive into the choices that change lives forever. Keep listening, this story's about to take a devastating turn. This was the first year she'd returned to the area with her daughter for work. For years had passed, and Rebecca believed the two of them had moved on, especially since Ethan was about to get married. While she waited for the bus, her phone rang. She frowned when she saw Linda, her mother, was calling. She answered immediately. "Hello, Mom, why are you calling?" Linda's voice shook. "Rebecca, your daughter got caught in a vehicle crash in our neighborhood. Her condition is critical." Rebecca's mouth fell open, and her heart twisted. "What? What, Mom, is this true?" "Haley." People at the bus stop began staring as Rebecca cried out, her voice trembling in panic. She felt her heartbeat racing, imagining her 3-year-old caught in a collision. "Mom, I'll be right there." "Stay with her." Tears flowed as Rebecca quickly hailed a taxi instead of waiting for the bus, desperate to reach the hospital faster. The moment she arrived, she hurried to the emergency room, pulling aside every curtain in search of her daughter. At last, she saw Linda. Linda walked over and took Rebecca's hand. "Haley's right here," Linda whispered, guiding her to one of the curtained beds. Rebecca burst into sobs when she saw her daughter's clothes soaked in blood. She couldn't bring herself to move forward. "How did this happen, Mom? Weren't you able to watch her?" She could hardly breathe. Linda tried to calm her. "A car with faulty brakes hit our house, and Haley got caught in it. The driver's at the police station. He promised to pay damages, but since there were multiple victims, I doubt he can afford it all." Rebecca nearly stamped her foot in distress. "Mom, what am I going to do?" "Haley." Linda hugged her. "The Lord won't abandon us, child. We'll find a way." The doctor explained Haley needed blood transfusions as soon as possible because she had lost so much blood. That only made Rebecca more fearful. "Mom, what are we going to do? Where will we get blood that quickly? She and I don't have the same blood type." Linda took a deep breath. "Ethan might match. He's Haley's father, Rebecca. I'm sure they share the same blood type." Rebecca froze. She had never planned on seeing Ethan again, especially on his wedding day. "He's getting married tonight. How can I just show up? He might not even believe Haley is his child." Linda's eyes glistened with desperation. "We have no choice. Do you want your daughter to die?" I know Ethan, and I'm sure he'll help. You were together for a long time. He won't hesitate. Rebecca bit her lip and looked at Haley, unmoving on the hospital bed. For years had passed, and she had no idea how Ethan would react. She knew it was shameless to interrupt his wedding, but she had no other option. She had to save her daughter. Meanwhile, Ethan was alone, smoking outside the house he now shared with Lauren, his new wife. It was already evening, and they had ended the reception early. His chest felt cold. He wasn't sure whether he should be happy. The future he'd once dreaded had happened anyway. Ethan jolted as Lauren hugged him from behind. "I'm so happy we're finally married," Lauren said. "I've waited so long for this." His jaw tensed. He gently freed himself from her embrace, turned around, and watched her take a step back. "You're happy because you got what you wanted. Congratulations, Miss Lauren." He walked past her, but she grabbed his arm. "Why are you being like this? I'm your wife now. Don't be so distant. It's our first night." Lauren's gaze was steely. "We should have been married a long time ago if that other woman hadn't barged into your life." Ethan closed his eyes and inhaled deeply, trying to control his temper. His mother's health had been failing. She'd used guilt to push him toward marrying Lauren, even though he didn't love her. Despite his success, he was by now quite wealthy. He was still cornered by his family's demands. "Would you just shut up?" he said softly, hoping she'd sense his frustration. "Why should I? I'm right, aren't I?" Lauren snapped. "Why are you so hung up on that woman? She's nothing compared to me. She's just an ordinary girl who used you and then abandoned you. I'm the one who's here for you now." Ethan's patience snapped. "I said shut up," he shouted. He couldn't believe this was the kind of person his family wanted for him. He found Lauren's meddling and jealousy exhausting. She started crying, but he just stared, unmoved. "I'm married to you," he said bluntly. "Isn't that enough? What else do you want?" She wept without replying. Ethan knew this arranged marriage wouldn't bring them happiness. Their families might benefit, but not them. "Just go to bed," he finally said, leaving the room to calm down. Upon stepping into the hallway, he saw one of the housekeepers running toward him. "Sir, someone's here looking for you. She says it's urgent." He frowned. "Who would be looking for me tonight? Tell them to wait until tomorrow. I'm tired." "But, sir, she insists it's important, and she's crying." He scowled. "Who is it?" "It's Rebecca, your ex-girlfriend." His eyes widened. "Rebecca?" Confusion surged through him. She had disappeared 4 years ago before finishing college. None of her friends had been able to reach her. Why was she here on his wedding day? "Sir," the housekeeper asked again. Ethan drew in a shaky breath and headed outside, where he spotted a woman standing by the gate. From a distance, he was certain it was Becca, but she looked thinner than before. Her eyes were swollen, and she seemed agitated. He opened the smaller gate to speak to her. She looked startled that he'd appeared so suddenly. He noticed her tear-stained cheeks. "What are you doing here?" he asked curtly. "Ethan," Rebecca whispered, "I know you just got married. I know I hurt you in the past, and you must be angry with me now, but I'm here because, just say it," he cut her off. "Stop wasting my time. My wife's waiting." Rebecca heard the word wife emphasized and felt a stab of pain. Still, she held firm. "You need to come with me. I'm so sorry, but I need your help." He narrowed his eyes. "Help with what?" "My daughter. She needs a blood transfusion. A car crashed into our home, and she was hurt. If she doesn't get blood soon, I could lose her." Ethan stared. "You have a child?" He struggled to believe it. Rebecca nodded, tears streaming down her face. "Please, I'm desperate. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't serious. She lost so much blood, and I can't give her mine because we don't match." Still dazed, he muttered, "Fine. Wait here." I'll get my car. He dashed back inside for his keys and left behind a furious Lauren. After driving through the night, they reached the hospital. Rebecca clung to Ethan's arm, pulling him forward. Ethan searched her face, still grappling with the shock of seeing her again. He had tried looking for her after she left, but no one knew where she had gone. Inside a private room, Linda stood when Ethan entered, her expression guarded. "Ethan," she began softly, but he barely heard her. His attention snapped to the pale little girl on the hospital bed. His heart pounded. The child looked so much like him. He turned to Rebecca, who avoided his eyes. Linda slipped out, leaving them alone. Ethan asked through clenched teeth, "What is this? Why does she look like me?" Rebecca couldn't meet his gaze. Later. "I'll explain everything after you donate blood. Please, Ethan, I'm begging you. I don't want to lose her." Ethan's jaw tightened, but he went with the medical staff to give blood. When he emerged, he found Rebecca slumped in a chair. She jumped to her feet, anxiety clear on her face. He stared at her coldly. "I've done it. It's done," he said. Rebecca breathed relief. "Thank you. I'm going to check on my daughter." She moved to walk past him, but he gripped her arm, pulling her back to face him. "We need to talk, Rebecca," he demanded. "Do you think you can just leave after I donate blood to your child?" His hold tightened. "Let's talk another time," she pleaded. "I'm sorry for bothering you." "Answer me," he insisted. "Whose child is that?" She swallowed. "She's mine." "She's yours." Ethan's eyes blazed. "Mine? I'm her father, aren't I? Tell me she's my daughter." Before Rebecca could respond, someone shouted, "Ethan!" They both turned to see Lauren. She looked furious as she realized her husband was with his ex-girlfriend. Lauren glared at Rebecca. "How dare you steal my husband?" She lunged forward, but Ethan stepped between them. "We just got married." Lauren shrieked. Ethan tried to remain calm. "Stop, Lauren. We're not doing anything wrong." Lauren pointed accusingly at Rebecca. "Maybe you're not, but she is. She's shameless, seducing you like this. Don't forget I'm your wife." Rebecca backed away, slipping into her daughter's room. "I don't want any trouble," she murmured, leaving Lauren fuming behind her. Once inside, Rebecca caught her breath. She had no intention of ruining their marriage. She only wanted to save her child. Now that Ethan knew about Haley, she wouldn't hide her anymore, but she refused to hand Haley over to his family. Soon, the doctor announced the transfusion was successful. Haley's color improved, and when she awoke, Rebecca hugged her tightly. "Mommy," Haley mumbled, "why are you crying?" Rebecca wiped her tears and forced a gentle laugh. "I'm not crying. Just got dust in my eyes." Haley blinked. "Mommy, I had a dream. It was so nice. My daddy hugged me. Do I have a daddy like the other kids?" Before Rebecca could answer, the door opened, and Linda entered, followed by Ethan. Rebecca's eyes met her mother's, who bit her lip nervously. Rebecca sighed, knowing this moment had come. She took the fruit and toys Ethan was carrying, and Linda slipped out to leave them alone. Ethan stared at Haley, who looked back at him in confusion. Rebecca crouched beside her daughter. "Sweetheart, you asked about your daddy, right?" She turned her gaze to Ethan before returning it to Haley. "Here he is." Haley's eyes widened. "Really? You're my daddy?" She looked at Ethan. His eyes glistened. "Yes, I'm your father." Rebecca watched him fight back tears. Guilt pricked her conscience, knowing she had robbed him of 4 years with Haley. The little girl beamed. "Are you going to stay here with us so I can see you all the time?" Ethan gently replied, "Yes, I'll make sure of it." Rebecca slipped out, giving them space. She felt her heart ache, realizing that after all this time, they were seeing each other in this painful, unexpected way. She stood in the hallway and closed her eyes, trying to steady herself. She knew Ethan deserved to know his child. She told herself, he'll be a father to Haley, but he's married. I just want a quiet life for us. A few days later, Haley fully recovered and was cleared to leave the hospital. Rebecca carried her daughter, who waved goodbye to the nurses. Are you happy, sweetheart? Rebecca asked. Yes, Mommy. Haley chirped. I have new toys, and now I have a daddy. Rebecca's smile faltered at the mention of Haley's father, recalling that Ethan was now married. It seemed impossible for them all to be together. Haley was too young to understand. Rebecca noticed Ethan's car outside instead of Linda's. She hesitated, confused about why her mother hadn't come. Ethan stepped forward and took their bags, placing them in his trunk. Come on, he said. Hold on, Rebecca objected. Someone was supposed to pick us up. She also felt uneasy. This doesn't look right. There's no time to worry about what looks right, Ethan said, taking her hand and urging her forward. Haley beamed as she saw her father. He opened the passenger door, and Rebecca, still holding Haley, reluctantly climbed inside. Ethan, she asked, where are you taking us? I gave you my new address. He gripped the steering wheel. You're not living there. Why not? She asked. He shot her a glance. I'm not letting my daughter stay in an unsafe neighborhood. You'll both live with me. Rebecca fell silent. She felt uneasy. So we're going to stay with you and Lauren? That's going to be complicated. Ethan's voice turned sharper. That's your concern? I won't let you or Haley be in danger. Besides, this is your fault for leaving me and letting it all come to this. Rebecca sighed. She wondered if Ethan would allow Lauren to disrespect them. She also understood Lauren's right as his wife to be upset. They arrived at a large house, different from the one Rebecca had gone to on the night she'd sought his help. The gate opened automatically, and the driveway led to a spacious front yard. Rebecca gazed at the enormous property, realizing just how far Ethan had come. She wondered if any of this would have been possible if they'd stayed together in their youth. Let's go inside, Ethan said. She followed, stunned to discover the lavish interior. The living room alone was huge. Haley squealed in delight, pointing at an array of toys in a nearby corner. It looked like a playground. Want to play? Ethan asked his daughter. Yes, Daddy. Haley said happily, raising her arm so he could pick her up. Rebecca stepped back, letting them enjoy this time. Her heart felt both light and burdened. He stayed for about an hour, then left, presumably to see Lauren. Rebecca didn't ask questions, though part of her wanted to talk. She needed clarity about their complicated situation. She wondered if Ethan's family would accept Haley or if Lauren would. But for now, she decided not to dwell on it. When her mother arrived, Rebecca explained that Ethan wanted them to live there, and Linda nodded. It might be easier for you. Just keep your distance from any trouble. He only wants to be a father. Days turned into a month. Ethan never returned during that time, though he continued to pay the bills and kept a housekeeper around for them. Rebecca tried not to overthink his absence. They weren't a couple. He was supporting Haley, which was enough. One day after work, Rebecca ran into Samantha, who teased her. So, did you get back together with Ethan? Rebecca shook her head. He's married. Why would I get back together with him? He just donated blood for Haley. Samantha smirked. Sure. Maybe there'll be a second baby soon. Poor Lauren. Rebecca felt a wave of discomfort. Let's not talk about her. She's irrelevant to my life. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Rebecca planned to go home but ended up working overtime again. Around 6 o'clock, she finally left the office and dropped by a grocery store for dinner supplies. There, she overheard two women gossiping near the checkout. Did you hear? Lauren and Ethan split up. No way. They've only been married a week or so. Is that even possible? It's apparently because of someone from his past. Lauren's devastated. Rebecca froze and turned to them. They mentioned Ethan by name. Her heart pounded, recalling how she hadn't seen him in a month. She tried to brush it aside. It couldn't be because of her and Haley. Maybe there were other issues. She decided not to dwell on it, paid for her groceries, and went straight home. The moment she entered, she heard Haley laughing loudly. She smiled, wondering what was making her daughter so happy. But when she reached the living room, she froze. Ethan stood there. He turned to face her, and Haley rushed over. "Mommy!" Rebecca forced a smile, lifting her daughter into her arms. "Baby, Haley," she murmured. "What's going on?" Haley giggled. "Daddy said he's staying here with us." Rebecca stared at Ethan. "You're staying here? You have a wife." He stared back. "We're separated now." She blinked. "Legally separated after just a week of marriage? That's not easy, Ethan. Are you sure you're telling the truth?" He narrowed his eyes. "It's not easy, but I can do it. I stayed away for a month to get it done." She pressed her lips together. "Fine, I guess it's your life. But as long as you're here, you must know the rumors that'll spread. People might call me a homewrecker." He studied her face carefully. "You really don't want me here, do you?" She swallowed. "It's not that. It's just, you can still be a father to Haley without leaving your wife." He tensed. "Are you saying it's okay for me to remain married and just visit my daughter? Is that how little you think of me?" Haley glanced between them. "Mommy, Daddy, are you fighting?" Rebecca's heart lurched. "No, sweetheart, we're not fighting. Fighting is bad." She tried to smile. Ethan said nothing. She sighed. "I'm going to put Haley to bed, then we can talk." That night, Rebecca watched as Ethan tucked Haley in. When her daughter had fallen asleep, Rebecca cleared her throat and asked quietly, "So, it's true? You're completely separated from Lauren?" He nodded. "Yes." "Why, Ethan?" He frowned. "Because this marriage was a mistake from the start. Now that I know about my daughter, I'm not staying locked in that arrangement." Rebecca shook her head. "There must be more to it. Legal separation is a big step. Your family won't make this easy." He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "I don't care about that anymore. The moment you showed me Haley, there was no going back. I won't lose any more time." She swallowed hard. "You'll create a scandal, Ethan. People will say I lured you away, that I used Haley to do it." "Won't you?" he interrupted. "I don't care about rumors." He studied her. "Unless you're afraid I'll try to win you back too. Are you scared you'll fall in love with me all over again?" Rebecca's eyes went wide. She tried to pull away, but Ethan grabbed her arm. "Relax," he murmured. "I'm not going to jump you. Not until my separation is final." She shoved at him. "Don't joke like that." He released her and walked off. "Don't worry. I'm not the same college kid you left. I can do what I want now." Rebecca let him stay. After all, it was his own house. At least he could spend time with Haley, and Linda got some rest from babysitting. Ethan didn't appear to be working, so he had plenty of time for their daughter. One morning, Rebecca kissed Haley's forehead. "Mommy has to go to work now, sweetie. Be good for Grandma." "Yes, Mommy," Haley answered. She beamed and hugged Linda's leg. Rebecca glanced at Ethan, who was looking right back at her. "You'll be home by 5 o'clock, right?" he asked. She nodded. "Yes, I will." "Then we can have dinner together," he added, glancing at Haley. "Come home on time." "I plan to," she said softly, returning his gaze before leaving for her job. She felt her heart pound, torn between relief and anxiety about what the future held for them all. Rebecca's co-worker Sarah noticed how hurried she was as 5 o'clock approached. You're clocking out now? Sarah asked, seeing Rebecca gathering her things. You have plans for dinner, don't you? Rebecca turned around. How do you know? Sarah pointed to Rebecca's phone on the desk, where a message notification popped up from an unregistered number. Hey, this is Ethan. Make sure to be home by 5 p.m. Sarah grinned. Is it from him? So, you two have dinner plans, huh? You and Ethan back together now? Rebecca quickly shook her head, switched off her phone, and tried to ignore Sarah's teasing. Stop saying that, she said. Earlier, you mentioned Ethan and Lauren are legally separated, but that doesn't mean anything yet. They're still technically married. Sarah rolled her eyes. He's obviously serious about you. I mean, you two have a child. Didn't he skip his wedding night bliss to rush to the hospital for your daughter? That's huge. Maybe Ethan saw that as his chance to leave Lauren sooner. Rebecca sighed. Let's not talk about them. She clocked out exactly at 5 o'clock. Upon arriving home, she found Linda, Ethan, and Haley gathered around the dining table, waiting for her. The table was filled with delicious dishes. What's all this? Rebecca asked, placing her bag down on a nearby chair. Ethan gave her a cautious look. You don't remember? Haley piped up. Mommy, it's your birthday today. Rebecca's eyes went wide. Right then, a party popper burst above her head, and a housekeeper carried in a small cake with a candle. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mommy. Haley cheered, running up to hug her. Tears formed in Rebecca's eyes. I could have sworn my birthday was tomorrow, she whispered, feeling overwhelmed. Linda smiled at her daughter. You've been so busy with work, you lost track of the date. Rebecca turned to Ethan, but he only gave her a level stare. Make a wish and blow out the candle, Mommy. Haley urged. Yes, go on, Linda added. Rebecca fought back tears, leaned in, and blew out the candle. Everyone clapped, then dug into the meal. Rebecca normally never celebrated her birthday anymore. She felt old, and there was also an unpleasant memory attached to this date. It was the day she'd ended things with Ethan years ago. But she forced herself not to dwell on that. After all, Ethan was here now for Haley's sake. She tried to remain calm, though she couldn't deny he was being sweet to her too. Months passed. Ethan stayed in that house with them, yet oddly, no one came to cause trouble. Neither Lauren nor Ethan's mother, Mrs. Diana, made an appearance. Rebecca couldn't help wondering what Ethan had done to secure such peace, especially since his divorce was still processing. Late one night, Rebecca was alone on the terrace, lost in thought. Suddenly, Ethan joined her, and she straightened in her seat. He sat beside her and said quietly, Rebecca, can you consider quitting your job? She frowned. Huh? Why? It'd be better if you just stayed home with our daughter, Ethan replied, eyes fixed on hers. I just want you here with Haley, with me, as a family. Rebecca swallowed hard. Why would you say that? She tried not to show how his intense gaze unsettled her. He asked bluntly, Do you love me, Rebecca? Her heart pounded. During the months he'd been here, she'd seen how caring he was toward Haley, toward her. She recalled all the times he'd made her breakfast, how he picked her up from work every day, how he'd wait outside her office building. And though he'd claimed it was all for Haley, she felt his affection went beyond fatherly duty. She averted her gaze. I can't answer that, she mumbled. Ethan's voice dropped lower. You know I'm not here only for my daughter. You once told me I was free to see my child, but that's not the only reason I'm doing this. The marriage to Lauren was a mistake. You should have told me you were pregnant long ago. We wouldn't have lost 4 years. I would have married you then, not her. He drew closer, lowering his voice in earnest. Now that I found out the truth, I can't let go. I belong with you, Rebecca. You own my heart. I want to hear you say you still love me. She stared at the floor, tears pricking her eyes. Even if I say yes, that doesn't fix anything. Your parents will never accept me. I'll just look like the woman who ruined your marriage. I'm not from a wealthy family. He gently held her face. Tears slipped down her cheeks. I love you, Rebecca. Everything I have, I've worked to earn because of you, so I could come back to you as an equal. I'm sorry if I hurt you by marrying Lauren, but that's in the past now. I'm waiting for the final divorce papers to make it official. Will you wait for me? Rebecca wiped her tears and hesitantly nodded. A grin brightened Ethan's expression, so she tapped him lightly on the arm. Ouch, he complained. She huffed. No more sweetness from me until the divorce is final. He protested, but that can take years, babe. She blushed bright red at his choice of endearment, jumped to her feet, and retreated. You're rich, aren't you? Maybe you can speed things up. Now let me be, she quipped before leaving him there, smiling to herself. They continued living together, focusing on being parents to Haley. They planned to enroll Haley in school in the fall. Ethan persisted in asking Rebecca to resign, insisting that she should have more time with their daughter and, truthfully, with him. They argued, but ultimately, Rebecca conceded and quit her job. You're going to be a full-time mom and a loving partner, Sarah teased while helping Rebecca pack up her office. I'm so happy for you. Rebecca gave a small laugh. It's time to focus on Haley, I guess. And you're right, Ethan is more than capable of supporting us. He's so successful now with all these businesses he built himself. Sarah nodded. He must have worked hard after you left him on your birthday. That was a cold move, girl. Probably drove him to prove himself so he could get you back. Rebecca shook her head, finished packing, and said her goodbyes to her coworkers. She carried a box of personal items outside. She inhaled a shaky breath, relieved to be free. But in the middle of the sidewalk, someone yanked her hair from behind. Hey! Ow! Rebecca cried out. A stinging slap landed on her cheek, knocking her off balance. She stumbled onto the concrete and looked up, her eyes widening in horror as she recognized Lauren, Ethan's ex, looking livid. Standing beside Lauren was Ethan's mother, Mrs. Diana, holding Lauren's arm. I said that's enough, Mrs. Diana warned Lauren. Lauren glowered at Rebecca. You worthless woman. You should have sided with me, Mrs. Diana, not with Ethan. Mrs. Diana sneered. I do still like you, dear. I'm only trying to steer him back to you, but look at this nobody, still clinging to my son. Then she gave Rebecca a harsh glare. You, get up. We're going to talk. Rebecca pressed a hand to her stinging cheek, her mind racing. Ethan had been living under the same roof as her for months, yet now his mother and ex-wife were here. Why now? Fear not at Rebecca, but she slowly rose and let them lead her to a small private house. Once inside, they made her sit on a chair facing them. Calm down, Lauren, Mrs. Diana urged, seeing Lauren tremble with anger. How can I calm down? Lauren snapped. Ethan and I split up, and the judge granted our divorce so fast. Our marriage was just a week long, and we spent more time finalizing the papers than we actually spent as husband and wife. It's all because of this woman. Lauren pointed accusingly at Rebecca. She used her child to lure Ethan away from me. He never even touched me. Now you're living with him, aren't you? Pathetic. Must be nice to shack up with a billionaire. Rebecca's temper flared. I never used our daughter for that. Don't accuse me. I only went to Ethan that night because she needed a blood transfusion. Ethan was the father. I would have done anything to save her life. That's all. Lauren's voice shook with contempt. Oh, sure. But guess what? Ethan living with you now, isn't he? You really think I'm that stupid? That's enough, Mrs. Diana said flatly. She turned to Rebecca. I don't like you, you know that. I never wanted my son to end up with someone like you. After you left, we had peace and quiet. I know you don't want to go back to how miserable things were before, do you? Rebecca stayed silent, anxiety twisting her stomach. Mrs. Diana gave a long sigh. I'm not completely heartless. I'll give you an easy way out. Take your child and disappear. Go abroad if you want. Just leave Ethan. I don't want my son's hard-earned money wasted on a woman like you, and I don't want a grandchild whose mother is beneath us. Understand? Rebecca's anger flared again. You're a terrible mother. Mrs. Diana's eyes narrowed. What did you say? You heard me, Rebecca spat. A mother should want her child's happiness, but you just want to control Ethan, make him do your bidding. I see why he was desperate to leave your home back then. Mrs. Diana leapt up and slapped Rebecca across the face. The blow was so hard that Rebecca's lips split. Blood trickled down her chin. How dare you speak to me like that? Mrs. Diana hissed. You have nothing to offer my son. You're just a parasite trying to get hold of his fortune. Rebecca clutched her throbbing cheek. Mrs. Diana rummaged in her purse, pulled out a check, and slammed it on the table. 10 million. Take it and leave with your daughter. Rebecca just stared at her. Mrs. Diana growled, What, not enough? Fine, 20 million. Just get out of his life. Before she could finish, the door flew open. Everyone turned to see Ethan standing there, fury etched on his face. Ethan! Mrs. Diana stammered, turning pale. What are you doing here? He strode forward, gaze locked on his mother. You can stand? You don't have a serious illness? His voice quavered with disbelief. Mrs. Diana rushed to him, but he ignored her. I can explain. So you lied. You were never sick, he said, looking from his mother to Lauren, noticing bruises on his own arms as though he'd been in a scuffle getting there. You both lied to force me into a marriage I didn't want. His voice was cold. Unbelievable. Mrs. Diana started sobbing. I did it because Lauren and I wanted. Shut up. Ethan snapped, stepping around her to get to Rebecca. He gently touched Rebecca's bloody cheek. What happened? Why'd you come here alone with them, Rebecca? As his thumb brushed her cut lip, she muttered, I didn't want a scene at the office. Lauren tried again. Ethan, let me explain, he glared at her. We're done, Lauren. Stay out of my sight. The two of you can leave together for all I care. Before anyone could argue, Ethan scooped Rebecca up into his arms, bridal style, and headed for the door. Rebecca gasped in surprise, seeing Mrs. Diana's bodyguard sprawled unconscious on the floor. Ethan clearly had men of his own who weren't afraid to fight back. In the car, Ethan placed Rebecca in the back seat, his own guards in black suits standing by, ready to escort them. His jaw clenched. So they offered you 20 million to leave me. Did you even consider it? Rebecca shook her head firmly. Never. I wouldn't steal Haley's father away from her. You know that. His anger still simmered. Good. Even if you tried to disappear, I'd find you. And for the record, I have far more than 20 million. They can't buy you off. Rebecca bit her lip to keep from smiling. Congrats on finalizing your divorce, by the way, she teased, attempting to lighten his mood. Ethan scoffed. Don't mention it, he said. You know me. When I want something, I make it happen. Then he motioned for the driver to start the car. Straight to the hospital, he ordered. Hospital? Why? You're bleeding. You need a proper check. Haley's waiting for us. I want to make sure you're okay. We can clean this up at home, Rebecca insisted softly. He shook his head, voice hard. No. Now that I'm officially free, you're mine. I can be as sweet as I want to you, hold you whenever I want, kiss you whenever I want. Her cheeks flared. She tried to move back, but he caught her hand and intertwined their fingers. Ethan. He tugged her closer, slid an arm around her waist, and pressed a light kiss to her bruised cheek. Don't forget that, he whispered in her ear. There's no escape now. When they reached the hospital, doctors patched Rebecca's wounds. Ethan hovered beside her, arms folded, brooding. She finally managed a weak smile. I'm sorry. They practically forced me. I just didn't want them to hurt anyone at the office. He averted his eyes at first, then turned fully toward her. Rebecca, he said seriously, tell me the truth. Did you still love me even after you left? She swallowed. Why are you, he continued, because I never stopped loving you. Even when I was angry, deep down, I blamed myself for not seeing how my mom bullied you. If I'd known, you wouldn't have disappeared. We could have been married sooner. He reached into his jacket pocket and drew out a small velvet box. Opening it, he revealed a ring. I've wanted to give you this for so long. It should have been yours from the start. Rebecca's eyes widened. Ethan. He held up the ring. Put it on. It's worth far more than the check my mother waved in your face. I'm not letting you leave me again. Rebecca was too stunned to speak as he slipped the ring onto her finger. Hey, I hadn't even answered. There's nothing you can do but marry me, Ethan declared. We have a daughter, and I know you love me too. No more hiding. Her eyes brimmed with tears. When he leaned in closer, she clung to his shoulders, letting his lips meet hers. Even though she wore his ring now, the conflict with Ethan's mother wasn't completely over. Mrs. Diana would sometimes corner them in public, pleading to speak with her son. One afternoon, Ethan was about to take Rebecca and Haley to a restaurant when Mrs. Diana approached them in the parking lot. Ethan, please talk to me, his mother begged. I've kicked Lauren out. There's nothing between us. I'm alone now. Ethan looked disgusted. You think that changes anything for me? You don't control my life anymore. Rebecca started to lead Haley away to give them privacy, but Mrs. Diana rushed toward them. Haley clung to Rebecca, frightened. Mrs. Diana's face fell. Are you my granddaughter? She asked in a halting voice. Haley pressed her face into Rebecca's shoulder. Ethan said coldly, Mom, go home. You're ruining our day. Rebecca gently patted Haley's back. It's okay, sweetie, she whispered, though Haley remained tight in her arms. That was your grandma, she added softly once they'd moved a safe distance away. Haley blinked. She's scary, Mommy. I thought Grandma Linda was my only grandma. Rebecca gave her daughter's hand a squeeze. She's your daddy's mom, so she's your grandma too. Haley pursed her lips. Oh. I guess it's okay. It's just Grandma Linda's so much nicer. Rebecca gave a gentle laugh, took Haley inside the restaurant, and found a table. Meanwhile, Ethan stayed in the parking lot with his mother. They stood face to face. Mrs. Diana's eyes were puffy from crying. She tried to cling to him. You won't forgive your own mother? Ethan's voice was like ice. Not after you manipulated me for so long. I want you to learn that you can't always get what you want. You lied about being sick, you faked needing a wheelchair, you did everything you could to keep me away from Rebecca. Now you ask for forgiveness? I can't. And the only way you'll ever see me again is if you leave for good and start over. Dad's waiting for you in California. Go to him. Live quietly there. If you do, maybe one day I'll forgive you. Mrs. Diana's eyes brimmed with tears. She tried to speak, but Ethan left, heading into the restaurant. There, he spotted Rebecca and Haley waiting. Haley flung her arms around his waist. Daddy! He picked her up and locked eyes with Rebecca, who gave him a questioning look. He glanced back through the window, saw Mrs. Diana talking to a man outside. He gave a small, sad smile. That's my dad, he muttered. Rebecca asked gently, they're going somewhere? California, Ethan confirmed quietly. They'll figure it out. He reached for Rebecca's hand. Let's focus on us now. She nodded, and a waitress approached to take their order. They spent a year together after that, building a relationship that felt solid and unbreakable. Ethan made sure Rebecca and Haley wanted for nothing. He knew he could never make up for the 4 lost years, but he tried, pouring love into each moment with them. When Haley turned 5, Rebecca finally agreed to marry Ethan. On their wedding day, he could hardly contain his joy. This time, there was no drama, no forced arrangement, just the two of them pledging their lives to each other in front of friends and family. A week after the wedding, Ethan had a surprise in store for Rebecca. She laughed nervously as he guided her outside with a blindfold over her eyes. "Where are we going, Ethan? It's so quiet. I'm freaking out." "Trust me," he said. "No one's leaving anyone this time." Rebecca joked, "We've only been married a week, and you're already pulling stunts. I might have to file for divorce if you scare me too much." He chuckled. "Never going to happen. I won't let you go." Then he removed the blindfold. Rebecca gasped. "Ethan, is that a helicopter with my name on it?" He grinned. "Yes. You like it?" She blinked in astonishment. "Are you serious right now? You got me a helicopter?" "Of course," he said with a shrug. "If you hate it, I can always buy you another brand," he teased. Her mouth hung open. "I love it, obviously." She took a step closer, amazed. "It's beautiful." He gently tugged her toward him. "It's beautiful because you are," he said softly. "Come on, let's take a ride. Just you and me." "What about Haley?" she asked. He kissed her lightly on the temple. "She's staying with Grandma Linda tonight. We're still newlyweds, you know." He scooped her up playfully, making her squeal. They climbed into the helicopter, their pilot awaiting instructions. Rebecca's heart pounded as the engine roared. "Ethan, we're newly married. Don't get us killed, okay?" He winked. "I promise we'll make it back safely. Though if we crash, at least we die together," he joked. She smacked his shoulder gently. "Don't even say that." He laughed, then drew her in for a kiss before giving the pilot the signal to lift off. "I love you, Rebecca," he whispered, intertwining their fingers. She tried to steady her breathing as the helicopter rose. "I love you too," she said softly, bracing herself against his arm. He held her tight. "Look down. The view is amazing." Rebecca inhaled and tentatively gazed through the window. Her fear faded, replaced by wonder at the breathtaking landscape below. Ethan smiled, wrapping his arms around her shoulders. "I love you, Mrs. Carter," he murmured against her hair. "And I'm looking forward to so many more years with you." She leaned back, letting herself enjoy the moment with her husband. That's the end of this gripping tale, folks. Did Rebecca and Ethan's love conquer all, or will the shadows of their past linger? Subscribe to Dark Voices for more stories that tug at your heartstrings and keep you on the edge of your seat. This is Mr. Hope, signing off. See you in the next one.